So let's start from the top, because this is the one, as Destiny players, we've all tried Halo from time to time, I'm sure. But Halo has been in a bit of a rut. And Halo Infinite, I mean, they kind of need Halo Infinite to pop off. They need Halo Infinite to bring in, the old audience, but they need to bring in a new audience. And damn, that trailer looked pretty fire to me. Like, gorgeous. Visually, the fidelity there.
Oh, the difference. Remember last year, all the guns looked like... By the way, do I sound normal now? Let me know. I think I sound a little bit more normal. But, okay. Last year, they're like every gun was a Play-Doh gun. It looked. We had the Brute. What was his name? I forget his name. Greg the Brute. Everyone memed on it so hard, and now it looks like 10 times better. So it's like, wow, dude, they were literally almost gonna put this franchise on the line, forcing it out last year with the launch of the console. So thank goodness that they did dial it back, and they're coming out this year, because it looks like, if you go back and watch that old trailer and then like watch this new stuff, it's kind of shocking, like how much they accomplished.
It's like, is this an Xbox 360 game? Is that?
Yeah, I know, right?
But now it's like it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Here's been my problem with Halo, is that Halo has not excited me in a long time. The last time Halo like genuinely excited me was back in Halo 3, and I was playing the crap out of it. Reach came out, and I went into that excited, and it wasn't horrible. I kind of liked Reach, but then after that, my excitement for Halo just took a nosedive.
I didn't even play 5. I'm gonna be honest.
I played it. I bought it. I played it, and I immediately regretted the purchase. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was zero fun whatsoever. Yeah. So, and that's been my problem with Halo. So, seeing this gameplay, I will be honest, I'll probably get crucified for this. I can recognize watching that gameplay. This looks like it's going to be a good game. This looks like it was well made, and the gameplay does look pretty cool. Am I excited about it? I can't say that I am yet, because Halo to me, because of where it's been, I'm not excited yet. But here's the good news. Free on Game Pass. So will I play it? Will I give it a shot? You bet your sweet bippy I will. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to play it. And if it excites me, great.
Free on Game Pass, I believe that's like the single player campaign.
Right, but the multiplayer itself
is just free.
That's
free
right.
for everybody. Yeah. That is a huge deal. Obviously, they're not going to put out Halo. Actually, it would be a big peen energy move to put out Halo multiplayer on PlayStation. PlayStation would probably say no. Like, even if Xbox was like, we don't care, we can put it on PlayStation Store, PlayStation would probably say no, honestly, just because how PlayStation is. But PC and Xbox free to play. Also, I was watching some of their multiplayer reveal, and like no loot boxes, they said, really. Like, you acquire the cosmetics through in-game, either playing it in-game, all playing it in-game, either I think through challenges or the battle pass. So they've got a battle pass system, and obviously there's going to be like the pay to skip tiers to get to level 100 right away, which is fine. It's like, as long as it like a reasonable person could get to tier 100 just through gameplay, like, and they have some double XP and double progression weekends, you're fine. Good to go. Like, that's pretty commendable, because they could have, if it was totally free to play, justified putting in a ton of loot boxes in there for cosmetics, and they would have made a ton of money. But going away from that and going from like where you actually see rewards is pretty commendable.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I mean, they're also changing up the game a little bit with the grappling hook. Like,
yeah,
that is going to be interesting, because it isn't just for traversal. You can actually pick up weapons with it. If you're racing for the gravity hammer, if you're racing for the sword, you can do it. But the other thing that was beautiful was, I don't know if you saw the clip where he throws the grenade at the energy sword and flings it towards him, kind of thing. There's a lot of interesting physics there where you can maybe throw a grenade, pop a weapon in the air, and then grapple it. And, I feel like some of the skill gap there is going to be interesting. We saw the battle rifle, all the, regular power weapons, all the vehicles coming back. There's
apparently I'm wrong. Apparently you can't pay to skip the battle pass. Apparently it's just,
you just
free,
earn it.
And they don't go away either. So apparently you can just earn like last year's battle pass or last season's battle pass or whatever, which is crazy. Like how, I don't know. So there's got to be a way to make money in this, guys. Like there's going to be something. They might
maybe they go back to the old model. Maybe they go back to map packs and stuff like that. Who knows?
Could be. I think no, because they realize, so you see a lot of devs going away from map packs, and the reason is because it segments the player base.
Right.
So, and you especially with a free-to-play game, you can't have like, because you would obviously only matchmake with people who've already bought that map pack, and then the player base gets splintered and smaller, and so I don't think they're going to do that. They're probably just going to sell cosmetics in the in-game store eventually. Maybe not at launch. Like they probably have all this great stuff at launch, and then like maybe a couple seasons after, maybe a couple little. Now you can pay to skip the battle pass 2 seasons later, right?
Maybe.
That's what Call of Duty does that all the time. No loot boxes. 2 seasons later, hey, here's loot boxes.
The interesting thing though is if you can buy that battle pass and just play it at your own rate, I wonder if that ups the hype for them and the amount of people that purchase it. Because instead of being like a FOMO thing, it's just a great value buy for someone who wants a bunch of skins, and maybe there's some other boosters there. The other thing too is like maybe there's experience boosters as little prizes along the way, and then it's like, well, I've got last year's battle pass, I get those bonuses, use it on the next. Like who knows what it all entails, but if you're buying it and you're away for a month doing some work, or you just want to try out that new game, you're not going to get destroyed and lose your $15 or $20 that you put into it. You can just pick it up later. And honestly, I feel like that's pretty goodwill, from the Halo creators. It's 343, right? And I think that's awesome. Now, they have done skins like in the past. They did like team skins for some of the esports stuff. And so, there might be some special packs down the road, like the championship series where you can actually buy, like, let's say Liquid won a tournament, they'd have like their own skins. Maybe there's going to be some, almost specialty shop stuff. But
it's a great tie-in with esports. Like fantastic tie-in
absolutely.
with esports.
It's going to have an esports setting for sure.
Yeah.
And there's already been teams who've already said like, oh yeah, we're going to assemble a crew for this. Absolutely.
And I guess it just depends on like what the reception is at launch. Are the big streamers playing it? Or does the game feel competitive?
Oh, well, they'll make sure, Microsoft will make sure the big streamers are playing Halo on release, if you know what I'm saying. Bro, I gotta start streaming for that launch, brother, because give me some of that Xbox money, gamer. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Microsoft, I'll play Halo. You know what I mean? I'll be a Halo YouTuber. But it brings up an interesting question. I really want to ask you guys. Do you guys think, though, that, like, obviously for you to be invested in the Battle Pass, the game has to be good. And I wonder if Halo has kind of, like, aged and it just isn't it isn't going to be as popular anymore, because they are going back to that classic Halo, which a lot of people want, but, like, what you have with a classic Halo is very little customization in terms of your actual loadout. Like Destiny, think of how much customization is, what loadouts, what perks are on the weapons, what barrels you're running, what armor you're running, what stats you're running, what mods you're running. Call of Duty, you're customizing your sight, your foregrip. Like people love diving into that stuff and customizing loadouts for them. And Halo has like not much of that. It's mostly cosmetic customization. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a battle rifle is a battle rifle, and you can't really do much to it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that'll be so much of an issue or not, because I mean, you think about, there's a whole lot of people right now that love the BR genre, and in a lot of these BRs, customization happens in the gameplay. It's not something that happens beforehand, outside of your skins and stuff. It's on the fly during the matches when the customization comes into play. And what we saw from the gameplay, with Halo is that it looks like it's a pretty highly technical game. And so there could be a lot of different ways you can mix and match your loadouts and what you're going to be running and what you're finding on the map. And that's what's going to differentiate you and your play style.
I guess like something like Apex Legends doesn't have like the weapon, you customize it in the game. I would argue though that Warzone, because you can do those weapon drops and bring in your custom loadouts, it brought that customization into the Battle Royale genre. So I would say that it's trying to give players the best of both worlds. But
one thing I want to touch on though is like, so whether you're playing Fortnite, every person who's playing Fortnite wants to get the scar and they want to get the purple pump or, like whatever. They always want that, right? Yeah. And so it's like, optimally every person that is in the lobby wants the exact same weapons. And so, customization is great, but even in COD with customization, how many people just run the GRA with the same attachments? Like, the meta forms really quickly. And so with a game like Halo and power weapons on the map, everyone is on an even playing field. They've got their gun. They want to become the best of that gun, and they know how to get another gun that's going to be good and optimal and fight for it. And, it's... For me, I hate customization. I hate randomness. I hate the BR side of things where someone can have a purple gun and I've got a white and I lose because my bloom is crazy. And so, there's a lot of people like me that they look at Halo and it's like a saving grace kind of thing for PvP.
I would say there's kind of an inflection point though of Call of Duty 4, right? Modern Warfare, where that started off, hey, we have a shooter. Before, every shooter was like that. Halo, Quake, a gun is a gun is a gun. And Call of Duty said, well, now you can put on, do you want a red dot sight? Do you want a silencer? Do you want a long range sight? And that kind of changed everything. Right. At one point, you brought in and then what perk do you want? And those choices and being able to just have a stealth build, put on a silencer, dead silence, ghost, you're now off the radar, you're playing stealthy, or, red dot sight, stopping power, you're going in, so just that choice, bringing in those RPG elements to a shooter, you saw when Call of Duty did that, they never went back. And then you also saw even Halo with, I believe Halo 4 maybe, you could mess around with a couple of different sites, I believe, for they had a little bit of customization. They tried to add as much as they could. So you saw once Call of Duty made the decision, it never went back because players loved that. And Battlefield, we're going to talk about later, very customizable with what you can choose in terms of your weapon. So I'm just thinking will people be nostalgic for, like you said, I don't have to worry about 75 different choices. I can just pick up a BR and it's going to work, or a battle rifle, and it's going to work the same every time. Or you can have people getting bored a little bit quicker, right? Because every match plays out the same because you start with the same guns all the time.
Well, one of the things that Halo's done well, and I have to say this to their credit, as much as Halo hasn't excited me in the past, one of the things that they have done well that I wish other games would implement, even games like Destiny, is they have customization options that are tied to specific actions that you perform in game. So you could get, for example, a really cool looking unique armor set, but in order to get it, you had to get X number of headshot kills with every single UNSC weapon in the game in PvP. You know what I mean? And so you're going to start looking different as you're chasing specific challenges that you're taking on. So you're going to start looking different from everybody else. But not only that, you're also going to be doing these other challenges that are going to change the way your emblem looks. So when people die to you and they see your emblem, they're like, oh, he did this thing. Oh, he's done that. You know what I mean? And also, part of the charm of Halo has also been accumulating medals and accolades, and that's another one of the way they get people coming back to the game because they're like, I've had this medal and that medal, but I don't have that extermination yet. Ooh, I want to get to 25 extermination medals. Man, my best is a Kilimanjaro, and I need to go higher and need to get that clip. Yeah. And so medal hunting has also been a big thing in that community.
To play devil's advocate, the one other thing I'm worried about, and it's something a lot of people in the chat brought up, is because it's free to play, there's going to be cheaters, dude. And if it's just Xbox and PC, there's really no reason for them not to have crossplay right off the bat. So the console players won't even be safe from the cheaters. So that could be a big issue. Running aimbot in Halo, never miss that battle rifle burst. That could be something they have to worry about.
I wonder.
We should probably move on soon.
Yeah. And we could talk about it in Battlefield, because, if there's cheaters in Battlefield, that's going to stress me out. I wonder if it's going to get to the point where, personally, I don't play shooters much anymore because there's cheaters in, every game now. It's crazy. They're so good at it.
Because every game's free, though.
Yeah.
Battlefield, we're going to talk about, hey, your account gets banned, enjoy paying another $60. And just that alone, because these cheaters are absolutely losers who live in their mom's basement and eat macaroni all day and have no discernible income or skills because they have to cheat to play a video game, right? These people don't have another $60 to spend on Battlefield. They legit don't have it, right? or they got to convince their mom to give it to them. So just that, the barrier to entry, like people, it's kind of funny seeing people being like, oh, I gotta pay $60, like every game's free. Dude, you almost want to though, because it ensures like an integrity of the multiplayer experience, because there's so much less cheaters when there's a paywall.
Literally Trials and Destiny is probably 50% cheaters at this point.
It's insane.
Maybe not 50%, but it's an insane amount. Like more than it's ever been. And, you know, if these companies like Microsoft, bro, you got money. You got you need to throw money at this problem. And it's one of these things that, like, if you invest in it now, won't it pay dividends long term? Because there's going to be more games. There's going to be more shooters. There's going to be more games. Like if EA and Respawn aren't doing something in Apex Legends for all these cheaters, then what about the next game? What about the next game? What about the next game?
Yeah.
It's a problem that's running rampant, and it needs a fix hopefully soon.
That's a good point. And like, I mean, Warzone will ban like 80,000 people in one go, and insane stuff like that. So, but like Microsoft seems to be willing to spend the money. So maybe we could see it launch with a solid anti-cheat, and it's actually a free-to-play game that doesn't have cheaters. Like maybe Microsoft will just go to war with cheaters.
Well, with Battlefield, do you know if they have an anti-cheat? Like I know Riot has their Riot Vanguard system. Like, does Battlefield have a system?
I remember installing like Punkbuster or something at some point for some Battlefield. I'm not sure about this one, but I think they do. I want to say yes, that they have some sort of anti-cheat. Right. And but again, just they're $60. So when they do ban people, it makes so much more effective. Like you talk to people who are cheating in Warzone and stuff, they're like, I just make a new account in 2 minutes. I literally don't care if I get banned.
Yeah.
So just that paywall is such a big deal.